stuff going on. It has been very inspirational for me. But this first piece is sort of in the revolutionary theme. Am I too young? Am I incapable of grasping the depth and breadth of this danger? Should I be scared? Am I burying my head in concrete and refusing to see the possibilities? I am angry. I am frustrated. I feel silenced. This is my country, mine. I will be here in 40 years, and the people making most of the decisions right now will not. Why should I stand idly by and waste my voice? Why should I not scream to the heavens, tear my clothes, and beat my chest? I want to wear my wounds for all to see. I want to match them up to my siblings in arms and bleed strength into each other. I want to shout as one voice that we are strong and we are here and we will not be quiet. I believe and I will fight. There are too many of us to kill us all. We are watching and we are hungry for the rights and lives we have been denied. I get up every day and fight, so why should this fight be set aside for fear of injury or death? I do not wish to sound cavalier and eager to harm my loved ones with a thoughtless and preventable end. But I could die tomorrow equally tragically without having done anything more than go about my usual routine. Come join me around our wounded so we can tend to them and paint our vows to keep fighting on our skin with their blood. Take my hand, sweaty palm to sweaty palm, and taste my tears on your cheeks. Scream with me until our throats are ripped open by our chants and pain, and healed again by the warmth and humanity of the thousands surrounding us. We might not change anything with this demonstration, but we will solidify our promise to fight for the next however many years. We will burn the memory of our power into our souls, so when we are on the floor, we can rise again with the fury and passion of millions of voices refusing to be silenced by fear. I am not too young to die for what I believe in. Just ask my country. Woo! So this next piece is untitled. Again, a little bit on the sort of darker side. Gasping, panting, she can't breathe, but in the best of ways. She feels like she has been cleaved open, ripped asunder starting at her pelvis. The cradle of her hips open wide, and her chest follows suit. Her spine elongates, and her mouth falls open, and she doesn't want to try to hide how the new position affects her. Next to her, his breathing changes, picking up to mirror hers just like she did earlier when he placed her hands on his shoulders and told her to breathe with him. He was in control, guiding her, leading her, but now the power is hers through her unashamed vulnerability and trust. She can't tell you what she looks like right now. She has kept her eyes closed the entire time. She didn't look into the many mirrors hung around her, nor the expressive faces of the people watching her. She knows she picked the maroon ropes for her body and the black for suspension. She knows that hopefully, tomorrow, she will have marks from the rope and that she will be able to smell him on her skin. She knows in that moment, she was the most open she had ever been, a chasm appearing in her torso large enough to swallow the world. She knows that all too soon he will lift her back up to her feet and she will be sewn back together. Later, they will coil the ropes together, her right leg draped over his left. She will talk about random things, finally able to overcome her silencing awkwardness from earlier. He smiles at her when she struggles to explain what it felt like and traces out the design of a gravity boot on her ankle and says he can put her completely vertical. For a moment, she is breathless again, hanging from the hard point cracked wide open. Air slams back into her and she laughs. When can we do that? So the last piece is the first three paragraphs to a novel in progress that I'm writing with a friend of mine. It's tentatively entitled Black Venom. Emily was used to waking up to a face or mouthful of auburn curls. 15 years of sharing a bed with her twin sister had inured her to the experience. She pulled a face and blew the soft lavender and mint-scented curls out of her airways and grumbled her usual complaints. This time, though, Agnes didn't whine or giggle in response, and Emily became aware that the surface she was lying on was too hard to be her small bed. Confused, she opened her eyes to the watery blue light of winter twilight, the room around her refusing to come into focus. Her mouth tasted like blood, bile, and something earthy and herbal. Emily blinked slowly, but could not force her eyes to cooperate. Her head throbbed with pain, and her mouth was so dry she had trouble unsticking her tongue from her hard palate. When her eyes finally managed to focus, she stared blankly at the wall behind her sister's motionless form and could not decide if it was familiar or not. She was almost certain this wasn't her bedroom. She squeezed her eyes closed and struggled to swallow. Opening her eyes a second time, Emily looked down and shakily pushed her sister's hair out of her face. Agnes's head lolled back, her blue eyes wide and unseeing. Emily made a low noise of distress, but could not look away from her twin. Agnes's face, neck, and arms were splattered with blood, and Emily lost a few minutes trying to differentiate freckles from blood flecks. Shaking her head, Emily tried to ease her sister off of her and onto the floor, but her arms were too weak, and she dropped her instead. The lifeless body fell to the wooden floor with a meaty thud. Agnes's wand clattered loudly next to her. Thank you so much.